Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Bold and the beautiful early spoilers February 2nd to 6th. Ridge demands answers as Steffy makes her choice. Bold and the beautiful spoilers for February 2nd to 6th 2026 anticipate Ridge Foresters, Torsten K. pushing and Steffy Foresters, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, taking sides. As we always do on early edition day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week and then we're going to talk about what is ahead for next week. On Wednesday, January 28th, we've got Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, suggesting to RJ Forrester, Brian Nicoletti, that he should come back to Forrester Creations and work alongside Ridge as a designer. It seems that Brooke can tell that Ridge would like to have a design partner again, but he drove his dad Eric Forrester, John McCook, away from the business. Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, is in Paris and Zende Forrester Dominguez, Delonda Metz, is missing in action as usual. So RJ is by default the only option that we have. Brooke says this is a familiar sight when RJ comes in toweling off from a swim. Brooke is happy and says it's like RJ never left. Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, and Steffy get a visit from a wealthy buyer. They are going to have scenes with Harmony, Ariel King, and also guest star Spencer Pratt. Spencer made his soap opera debut on Bold and Beautiful this past spring with his wife Heidi Montag, and they were playing themselves for a Forrester Creations fashion show. This time, Brad Bell has invented a brand new character for him, a tech billionaire named Rich, Spencer Pratt. I mentioned it the other day that the official spoilers were saying Spencer is returning as Rich. That's not true. It's a brand new character. Last time he was on, he played himself. Over at the beach house on Wednesday, Melissa Dillon, Sydney Bullock, gets dressed up in her ballet clothes and her toe shoes, and she winds up in Will Spencer's Crew Morrow lap. It doesn't look great because they seem close enough to kiss and his hand is on Dylan's leg. This week we had her telling Will that dance is her happy place. I thought it was art, but okay. Anyway, Hayes Forrester Finnegan, Brian Garlick, and Will asked her to dance for them, but Dylan said that would not be appropriate. So, it looks like Hayes and Will may talk her into it, and that's why she's in the ballet gear. I don't think she just promptly put it on and came down to do the Swan Lake of Seduction dance. Of course, this is when Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer, is creeping around outside the beach house, peeking into the windows. She looks horrified because she thinks she's catching Dylan and Will in a scandalous moment. From one angle, I think it's going to look that way. She'll tell Electra immediately. I also wonder if Hayes was right there in the room and Ivy didn't see the kid, or if Finn, Tanner Novlin, had just picked the kid up and Will said, "Oh, show me that spin again," or something, and then she trips. And I doubt Electra will care. I think she's going to rage no matter what. Thursday, January 29th, we've got Steffy supporting Electra about the whole Dylan situation. We already saw Electra telling Steffy that it feels wrong for Will and Dylan to be alone, and Steffy told Electra that her feelings were valid. Obviously it's an unusual situation and you should definitely keep an eye on it, but that doesn't mean you should be a terrorist to a poor homeless girl. Anyway, we may have Electra and Steffy picking right back up with that conversation about Dylan and Will. It looks like Electra may be projecting some of her feelings about what went down with Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, and Will onto Dylan. I'm sure Steffy can understand that given her own terrible experiences with Luna. But also, Dylan did Steffy the world's best favor when she ran down Luna and killed her. So, I think she should maybe take all this with a grain of salt. Plus, Ivy confronts Dylan, and it gets nasty. Ivy is going to tell Dylan she saw her making moves on Will while her supposed friend Electra is out of town and that Dylan is betraying her trust. She's terrible. All that, and you know that Ivy is going to blab the same stuff to Electra the second she's back in town. I'm very curious to see if Ivy confronts Dylan at Will's in front of Will or if she goes up to the little garage apartment to catch her on her own. Friday, January 30th, Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, tells Deacon Sharp, Sean Kanan, they are lucky to have her, talking about Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, I guess, and he agrees. Deacon may not say it out loud to Sheila, just to keep Taylor off of Sheila's radar as much as possible. Plus, by the end of the week, we have a special moment between Taylor and Deacon. Judging by the spoiler video for the week, it looks like Taylor and Deacon are lip-locking and playing kissy face. Obviously, his therapist shouldn't be kissing him, and especially not because Deacon's a married man, and especially not because he's married to Psycho Sheila. But it looks like it's going there very soon. Meanwhile, demands that Dylan pack up and not just leave Will's guest house in Malibu, but leave Los Angeles altogether. Yes, Ivy has decided that the city is entirely off limits to this homeless girl. After hearing about what Ivy saw, I'm sure that Electra is going to agree, but it's kind of insane for Ivy and Electra to think they can order Daphne to leave town. I mean, The other thing is that's Will's apartment. He gets to decide who lives there, and he knows what's going on. Everybody else is making assumptions, but Will's in the room. He knows what's going on. So, I don't think he's going to like Electra or Ivy giving ultimatums. And this is all laying the groundwork for RJ to butt into their relationship. Sheila is telling Deacon again how grateful she is for Taylor. Of course, Sheila is not going to be grateful when she finds out Deacon has fallen for Taylor and that she's head over heels for Sheila's husband as well. So, yeah, Deacon and Taylor need to watch out. The week of February 2nd through the 6th is the first full week of February sweeps. So, we've got big stuff coming. Sheila's intuition should be kicking in soon. I think she's going to sense something isn't quite right with Deacon. She already wondered about another woman. I think it's not going to be too long before Sheila is snooping and is going to catch Deacon getting too close to Taylor. Speaking of, Steffy also suspects Taylor isn't listening to her and is getting closer to Deacon. Steffy is going to keep pushing her mom, Taylor, to stay far away from Deacon. I think Taylor and Deacon are going to be seeing each other behind closed doors and getting even friendlier. Brooke and Ridge try to get the scoop on Katie Logan's, Heather Tom, new lead designer, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel, may fill Brooke in on Deacon Sharp's new romantic interest in Taylor. I think Brooke would be all for Deacon getting with Taylor. Brooke wants Taylor to find her destiny, and Brooke doesn't like Deacon being with Sheila, so she might decide Taylor and Deacon are fated and may try and help matchmake them as well. Katie and Eric get things moving at Logan. Taylor and Deacon keep taking risks. I expect Will to give Ivy and Electra pushback for coming at Daphne over things that he insisted were fine in his own home. I expect a nasty confrontation with Dylan and Electra where Dylan is apologizing and defending. And I do expect her to pack up her things to leave Will's place, but I'm not sure he's going to agree that February 2nd to 6th explodes with tension, secrets, and life-changing decisions on the bold and the beautiful. Emotions run high at Forrester Creations as family loyalties are tested and old wounds reopen. By the time Friday arrives, nothing, and no one, will be the same. At the center of the storm stands Ridge Forrester. And this time, he isn't staying quiet. The week begins with Ridge pacing inside the CEO office, his jaw tight and his patience gone. Too many whispers. Too many half-truths. Too many people keeping secrets for the family. He's done with it. After learning that Steffi has been making moves behind the scenes, big ones, Ridge demands the truth. He calls an emergency family meeting at Forrester Creations. The message is clear, everyone shows up, no excuses. Steffi, Thomas, Brooke, Taylor. Even Eric senses something serious brewing. When Steffi walks in, Ridge doesn't soften the way he usually does with his daughter. His eyes are sharp, searching. Tell me what you're planning, he says firmly. Right now. Steffi freezes. Because this isn't a small decision. It's a life-altering one. Meanwhile, Steffi has been quietly wrestling with her heart. For weeks, she's felt like her world is spinning out of control. Sheila's shadow still lingers. Finn's constant worry suffocates her. And Forrester Creations feels like a battlefield between Brooke and Taylor yet again. She's tired. Tired of drama. Tired of fear. Tired of pretending everything is fine. So she's made a choice, one she hasn't told anyone about. Not even Finn. Especially not Ridge. But now, with her father staring her down, the secret threatens to burst out. Before she can answer, Brooke interrupts, insisting Ridge is overreacting. She believes Steffi deserves space, not interrogation. That only fuels the fire. Ridge snaps. Every time someone keeps a secret in this family, it blows up in our faces. The room goes silent. Because he's right. And they all know it. Across town, Finn senses something is wrong. Steffi has been distant, distracted. She keeps checking her phone. Making private calls. Avoiding serious conversations. It scares him. After everything they survived with Sheila, Finn thought they'd finally found peace. But now he feels Steffi slipping away again. When he asks if everything's okay, she forces a smile. I just need some time, she says softly. Time. That word hits him like a punch. Time apart? Time alone? Time away from him? Finn's mind races with worst-case scenarios. Because love has taught him one thing, when Steffi pulls back, something big is coming. Back at Forrester, the pressure builds. Thomas watches carefully, sensing his sister is hiding something major. He pulls her aside. What aren't you telling us? Steffi looks torn. She trusts Thomas. But saying it out loud makes it real. Still, she whispers the truth. She's considering leaving Los Angeles. Not forever. but long enough to protect her family and clear her head. A fresh start. A safer place for the kids. Thomas is stunned. You're leaving? What about the company? Dad? Finn? That's the problem, she says. I can't breathe here anymore. For the first time, Thomas sees genuine fear in his sister's eyes. Not anger. Not strength. Fear. And that scares him more than anything. By midweek, Ridge finally uncovers part of the truth. Travel arrangements. Property inquiries. Calls to international offices. It all points to one thing. Steffy isn't just thinking about change. She's planning an escape. Ridge confronts her again, this time alone. His voice cracks, not with anger, but hurt. Why didn't you come to me? Steffy's eyes fill with tears. Because you'd try to stop me. He doesn't deny it. Of course he would. She's his daughter. His heart. But Ridge also knows something else. He's spent years controlling situations, fixing problems his way. Maybe he hasn't listened enough. Maybe Steffy feels trapped because of him too. That realization hits hard. For once, Ridge doesn't yell. He simply asks, are you running away, or choosing happiness? Steffy pauses. That question changes everything. Elsewhere, Brooke and Taylor clash once more, each blaming the other for the family tension. Old rivalries resurface fast. Hurtful words fly. But even they realize something chilling. If Steffy leaves, the family fractures for good. And neither woman wants that guilt. So, in a rare moment of unity, they agree on one thing. They must support Steffy, not fight around her. It's fragile. Temporary. But it's progress. By Friday, the emotional climax hits. Steffy gathers everyone. Ridge, Taylor, Finn, Thomas. Her voice shakes but stays steady. I love you all. But I need to choose what's best for me, and my kids. Finn reaches for her hand. Ridge holds his breath. I'm taking some time away, she finally says. Not forever. But long enough to find peace. Tears fall. Finn promises he'll follow her anywhere. Ridge surprises everyone by nodding. If this is what you need, then you have my blessing. It's not easy. But it's love. Real love. The kind that lets go. As the week ends, Steffy stands on the Cliff House balcony, watching the sunset with Finn beside her. The future is uncertain, but for the first time in months, her heart feels lighter. Behind them, Ridge watches quietly. Proud. Worried. Hopeful. Because sometimes the strongest choice is walking away. But in The Bold and the Beautiful, departures never stay simple. And spoilers hint that Steffy's decision may open the door for shocking new alliances, unexpected returns, and maybe even danger waiting where she least expects it. One thing's certain. When Steffy chooses her path, the whole family feels the aftershock. And Ridge? He's finally learning that protecting his daughter sometimes means trusting her to fly.